Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're taking a truly profound historical text and looking at how it literally maps perfectly onto our exhausting modern hustle. We live in this era where being endlessly busy is almost worn like a badge of honor, right? But deep down, we all know the toll it's taking on us. So we're going to explore a beautiful piece of ancient wisdom that speaks directly, and I mean directly, to that burnout so many of us are feeling right now. I want you to honestly reflect for a second on your daily grind. Just think about your morning routine for a minute. That hurried coffee, the stressful commute, that never-ending inbox that just seems to fill up way faster than you can ever clear it. So when was the last time you truly stopped rushing? And I don't just mean physically sitting down. I mean completely halting that internal engine of anxiety, that voice that constantly tells you to do more, be more, move faster, that breathless momentum. Well, that's the exact problem the text we're looking at today aims to solve. All right, let's dive right in. Our source material today is a Hukamnama, which is a divine command or daily spiritual guidance, found on page 678 of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the holy scripture of Sikhism. And look, while this text was written centuries ago, it offers this surprisingly beautiful, totally unexpected invitation for us today. It is essentially giving us permission to finally step off the hamster wheel of our modern lives.
Which brings us to our first point. The end of rushing.
Just listen to how definitively this text speaks. Quote, "Your running and rushing around has ended." I want you to just let the sheer relief of those words wash over you for a second. In a society that constantly tells you to hustle harder, this spiritual guidance says the exact opposite. It says the frantic chase is over. It's literally a declaration of peace. It's amazing how brilliantly this bridges an ancient phrase with our very real 21st century pressure. We're all trying to balance a demanding career, personal relationships, side projects, our health, the whole shebang, all at once. But escaping this cycle of burnout and endless hustle, it isn't about giving up your ambitions. It's about realizing that operating from a place of frantic panic just isn't sustainable. The text is validating your burnout and, more importantly, offering a way out. So once the rushing ends, what's next? That leads us to returning to your center. Notice the specific phrasing here. Quote, "Come back to your home, oh my friend." It speaks directly to you, the individual, with such profound empathy. It doesn't treat you like some failing worker who just needs to optimize their time better, right? It treats you as a friend who is simply tired and needs to rest. Come back to your home, oh my friend. It's warm, it's inclusive, and it completely reframes how we should view our own personal need for rest. The crucial thing to understand here is what home actually means in this context. It's not merely a physical location. I mean, you can be sitting on your couch in your living room and still feel totally disconnected and anxious. Home here is a state of inner peace. It's that emotional boundary you set when you finally slam your work laptop shut for the night. It's about returning to your true center and recognizing your inherent worth totally outside of your productivity, even when the environment around you is absolutely chaotic. Now let's talk about defeating daily adversities, because staying in that peaceful state isn't exactly easy. But the text offers this incredibly empowering line. The Lord himself has eliminated your enemies, and your misfortunes are past. It emphasizes this promise that the heavy burdens you're carrying, those forces actively working against your peace, are being lifted. But, for a young professional today, we really have to ask, what exactly are these enemies? Because let's be real, it's rarely an opposing army. It's usually something much more insidious. When we map this ancient concept of enemies directly onto our modern lives, we see the real emotional and mental adversaries we battle every single day. We're talking about imposter syndrome, the voice telling you that you don't belong in that big meeting. We're talking workplace anxiety keeping you up at 2 a.m., the paralyzing fear of failure, that toxic productivity that constantly whispers you're only as valuable as your output. The text is assuring us that these mental enemies are being eliminated. Your misfortunes, your past mistakes, they do not define your present peace. Which brings us to finding your firm anchor. Because when tomorrow morning rolls around, you need a way to stay grounded. And this is your anchor. Remain firm and steady, and do not ever waver. Take the guru's word as your support. When urgent messages start piling up, or a major project suddenly goes off the rails, your environment starts swirling like a storm. This line acts as a powerful spiritual grounding mechanism. You lean on the wisdom, the guru's word, as your ultimate support structure. It's a reminder that your core identity is completely untouched by the fleeting crises of the workday. So, how do we actually apply this wisdom daily? Well, here are 3 highly actionable steps derived straight from the scripture that you can use right at your desk. First, acknowledge the rush. Just notice when your heart rate spikes over a stressful email. Second, retreat to your inner home. Take a deep breath, set that emotional boundary, and detach your self-worth from the immediate problem. And third, lean on your spiritual anchor. Remind yourself of the bigger picture, that the frantic rushing really has ended and you are supported.
And that leads perfectly into our final theme, trusting the journey.
I absolutely love this next line because it acts as the ultimate pressure release valve. He himself becomes their help and support. Think about that. You do not have to carry the weight of your career, your life choices, and your future entirely on your own shoulders. There is a universal, divine support system at play here. And when you finally release the need to control every single outcome through endless hustle, you actually make room to be supported. As we look at the closing thoughts from the Hukamnama, we find this beautiful reflection. The Creator Lord has worked a wondrous miracle. And just think about that in the context of our crazy modern lives. Finding a place of absolute inner stillness, setting firm boundaries, and actually maintaining peace in a world that is practically engineered to keep you anxious and moving, well, that truly is a wondrous miracle. It's a profound transformation of how we experience our daily lives. So, I want to leave you with a final gentle question. Look at your schedule for the rest of today. Amidst all the tasks, the pings, and the meetings, where is the space for you? How will you quiet the rush, defeat those internal enemies of anxiety, and step back into your own center? Thank you so much for exploring this remarkable wisdom with me today. Take a deep breath, my friend, and welcome home.